son. He raps. His rap name is Tut Tarantino. If you ever listen to some of his raps, I'm like, oh my God, where does this come from, son? You grew up in a gated community your whole life, but he's rapping my life because we romanticize and fantasize about that old thug life, ghetto life, and all of that.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Real Talk with Darius. You know, in the video we just watched, my heart was touched when I first watched it earlier today, it being Tuesday, October 24th. When I was listening to that video, and almost every time I've listened to it, because I've listened to it several times today, my heart goes out to Mike because I'm hearing the heart of a hurting father. The heart of a hurting father. Let's name a fact here right quick. I'm gonna point this out. This video is not about racism and all that kind of stuff, but this definitely plays a part in it. What I'm about to say is that this is a African American or a black father, however he wants to identify himself, saying that I grew up in an environment I didn't want my kids, or he didn't want his kids to grow up in. It was rough. I don't know all of Michael's story. I have to look into that, but that's what I get from his conversation today. Oh, when I first heard it. I even found out that he actually first brought this out back in 2019 on the Dan Patrick Show. So, but this is something that's on his heart because trying to live a thuggish lifestyle, I haven't ever lived it, but I know some people who have. I grew up around some drug dealers, but there was an understanding that you didn't mess with me and my family. That was something I said for myself. You know, my father, he used to be into gang. He used to be in a gang years ago before I was born. And he know what the street life is about, having to fight every day and things of that nature. So he understands that type of stuff. And he taught us about it, me and my brothers. And my dad had made a concerted decision, like Mike, not for his boys, his sons, not to grow up living that kind of lifestyle. I mean, what does it benefit? And then, you know, Michael's heartstrings were being pulled here. I believe that if he was off camera or probably at home or amongst, family and friends, I believe he became even more transparent and probably become even more emotional because he is seeing people. Some people are going to think that Mike is trying to run his son's life and say rapping is a bad thing and all that kind of stuff. No, but there are consequences to the decisions you make, even if you don't fully understand them, or if you don't know them, or if you're unaware. There are consequences to your decisions. And so Mike is trying to help steer his son in the right direction. And, I find that interesting. I find it amazing how we don't listen, and I've been guilty of it too. We don't listen to the wisdom. We don't listen to the parental guidance that we're given to protect us and help us make the best decisions in the moment. Now, we want what we want when we want it. And then we look for people to agree with us. And when they agree with us and they don't have the context, they probably don't even have the type of support and the type of guidance and provision, the type of tools that you have in order to succeed, they don't know the full story. And some people probably don't even tell their friends who agree with them in their bad decision making. Hey, I do got it made. My dad loves me. My mom loves me. They're trying to support me and help me. But this is the way I want to go. Because, see, some of them might be jealous of you. Remember, this is Michael Irvin's son. So if he's getting any feedback from some of his boys, some of his peers, some of them probably jealous of him. I don't know. I'm just speculating here. But this is incredible to me. Got a grown man on television. Basically could break down into tears in a moment because it's not where his son is at right now that concerns him. It's the potential path. He is seeing the end. That's one of the things my dad talks about, is seeing the end from the beginning. He's seeing the potential end of his outcome. Or there's several different outcomes that of his son's life, his son's career. His son is glorifying trouble. Any of you out there who know anything about the street life, you know it's not all as glamorous as television and Hollywood like to make it out to be. It's not. If it was all that good, LeBron James would be out there right now thugging it. Dame Lillard, Deion Sanders, Michael Irvin. He came out of that. So if it was all that good, why didn't he stay in it? And some of these guys have lost family members and friends to that life. I see one of the things that throws me off too, that concerns me in the African American community, we all rise together and talk, when there's either racism or there's a perception of racism against us, all of a sudden we want to come and get unified, and we want to give our voices, lend our voices to all kinds of noise and talk about how we support each other and how unfair this is and that is, and how we should get this because we earned it or because it's our right. All that kind of stuff. We see it as unfair to be attacked in those manners, but when it comes to personal accountability or holding our friends, our family members accountable for their decisions. Again, right now, I'm just talking about in the Black community. Many of us do not do that well. We don't support each other. We don't have national outcries. We don't have T-shirts made. We don't have people's names being said in the streets, and don't see a whole lot of tweets about people making bad decisions and challenging them to make better decisions. See, to me, that's hypocrisy. When we gonna hold each other accountable? When we gonna hold ourselves accountable for our decisions? I get the outside noise aspect of it, the outside influences and outside challenges that occur, but what about the internal ones? This young man is having a crisis, from what I'm gathering. This young man is having a crisis in identity. He's got it made, don't even know it. Maybe you should reach out to some of those other kids who have famous fathers or mothers and ask them how they have dealt with some of the challenges of being in a successful household, or a famous or well-to-do household. I'm sure it's not easy, but you're blessed with it. But you got to see that though. You can't make people see things. You got to really think. If you can take the time to make an irrational choice, then why don't you just go and take a little bit longer to make a rational one, make a logical decision? That's all Mike's trying to get his son to see. I heard that Skip tried to get Ja Morant, for example, tried to get him to connect with Lil Wayne. Now, I don't know Lil Wayne. I know he's a pretty good rapper and all that kind of stuff. Some of the stuff I don't agree with, just being transparent about that. But Skip tried to connect those two because Ja Morant, as many of us know, last year, maybe the year before, has had some personal issues that became some private issues, become public issues, become public matters, because he wants to be out there thugging, showing his gun and all that kind of stuff. And I've seen a couple of videos of some people who live that life, and they offered to maybe, guide him, mentor him a little bit, or at least show him what that life looks like to see if he really want to be about it. Because if you go out there, you start pretending, these guys, they don't play. That's their life. That's their life. And in the African American or Black community, instead of us getting together, think about this for a moment. How many celebrities, Black celebrities, stars, the same people who came out when George Floyd riots and stuff was going on, the same people who come out when cops were involved in whatever capacity, when a Black man is shot or chased out, whatever. And again, I'm not poo-pooing those. That's for another discussion. But the point I'm making is this: where are some of those same voices at for situations like this to help rescue this young man? Again, I'm not saying this is for everybody to get all in this young man's business. Michael's not trying to throw his son under the bus. He's trying to help save that young man's life. And I hope that's what people get out of this. Because this is not a game. This is not a game. Life is not a game. I know we use that term, life is a game, but life is a game that you get the opportunity. It's not a game where you can have, be in like in a video game, for example, and you get 20 lives. It's likely, and listen, let's not go to the extreme and say it's physical death. That is a potential outcome if you're playing with this fire. But loss in relationship opportunities, He could lose relationship. He could, you know what he could do? You know what Michael Irvin's son could do after this? His father outing him. He could sever the relationship and stop talking to his father. So now he's finna lose a wonderful opportunity to grow and continue to grow and mature in a solid relationship with a black man who is his father. And I want to point that out real quick because that is not promoted. So we need some strong black men who are willing to and there are plenty of them. I believe that. I have one. My father is one. Michael Irvin, from what I gather, is one. Deion Sanders, we know, is one. Keyshawn may be one. You know, I don't know these guys personally, but just seeing that some of their personas on the screen, there's a number of guys out there who can help steer men in our community, not to become a problem in society, but help solve problems. Not to become victims or easily become victims of society, but men of value. That's what I'm talking. This is what I get out of this 2-minute conversation. I have long it was 2-minute conversation when Michael was being transparent about his son's career decision, potential career decision. I get it. Maybe the young man is trying to find his own way. I know some people will come and try to protect him and say, hey, he's trying to find his own way. Okay, I get that. You could make that argument. But, what you don't do is you don't expect a car to go and drive itself without a good navigator. Okay? Someone who knows understands the road, understands the car and how it operates, and just send it off. We would call it irresponsible. It's irresponsible to let people go off and just discover themselves. I mean, look at the state of our country, by the way. But that's another topic for another day. But this young man does not seem to understand the consequences of his decisions and what kind of path this may lead him down. There could be a path of victory and success if he chooses the right path, or a path of failure and defeat. And one thing black men do, a number of black men do, and society helps, is turn us into victims. That's one thing I'm vehemently opposed to. I was never taught. Me and my brothers, we weren't taught to be victims. We were taught to be victors. We were taught to be men who have a set of core values to help guide us. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't make mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes in my life, even though I have had guidance. But how much worse could my decisions have been had I not had the mentoring, had I not had my father in my life, and I still do to this day, the guidance, the wisdom, the example. I have a wonderful example. So all I'm saying is, hopefully I could be a voice too. That's not my goal, but maybe I can also be a voice that say, hey, young man, listen to your father. He has your best interest at heart. I did not hear a control freak or somebody who's trying to control your life and tell you what to do because you're Michael Irvin's son type attitude. I didn't get that from this video. And I don't, from what I'd heard so far, I don't hear anyone who has gotten that type of feel from this. What I'm hearing is a father who truly and genuinely cares about his son and his future, and wants to protect his son from making what could be a very dangerous decision. He's better than that, in other words. There's better waiting for him. But he has to listen, at the end of the day, and even from the time you wake up, life is choice driven. Life is choice driven. And then on top of it, let me say this right quick too. Let's think about this from a community standpoint. What type of person will you become, or this young man become in the community, when you're putting out that type of material, and somebody else come along and they all excited, they want to get their guns out, they want to go smoke all over the place, and they want to flaunt their money. See, listen, I know somebody who was flaunting their money, and they attracted the wrong kind of attention. I'm gonna leave it right there for now, because it's kind of anyway. I know somebody who's flaunting their money, putting stuff out there, and the situation did not fare well. I heard a loving father who should be praised and honored because all he's trying to do is look out for his son. And those in the community should be excited about that and help him out. Try to encourage this young man as best as you can, okay? To be like, listen, why? He's trying to raise a young man who is a asset to the community rather than a liability. In the Black community, those are the type of examples. Those are the types of lessons that need to be trained and taught and seen. These are the conversations we need to have more often rather than always playing the victim. Why don't we help raise men and women of value? Have a set of core values. I can say more on it, but I don't want to, ramble and all that kind of stuff. But this really did touch my heart. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? What were your takeaways from Michael Irvin's, what I'm going to call a plea for his son? God bless you. Talk to you later.